9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Women's Wrestling Talk, the #1 women's wrestling network on the planet.
Greetings and salutations. Welcome to the NXT host show. It is me, your councilman, the mayor of Vice City is here. Giddy as all get up, man. I know he cannot wait to talk about it, but we go get there in a second. NXT post show. We've seen some new candidates in the Iron Survivors match. We had 2 title defenses tonight as well, and we got a lot of in-betweens that is setting us up for a good deadline. But let's jump to the first one, which is, of course, Axiom took on Ethan Page in a men's Iron Survivor qualifying match. Banger of a match. Like, I have never wanted more for Fraxium to break up after watching Axiom perform against Ethan Page. When I don't mean like solid performance, like I don't understand why this cat has not had a belt yet type of performance. But Ethan Page is Ethan Page, and Ethan Page is going to do anything he can to pick up a victory, in which he did, and he is now a part of the men's Iron Survivors match at Deadline. And then also too stirred up a little friction between Fraxium, getting in Nathan Frazier's head. Nathan, of course, using that hot temper and that quick to speak but not think. Them wires not crossing correctly, and continuing to put that wedge between the tag team champions. And not only in doing that, they now have to worry about something else, because I know you watched NXT last week. A lot of these tag teams have just been whooping each other's asses, and it did not stop. This week. And so much that it has led to next week being a battle royale between all these tag teams, and the winner will be the #1 contenders for the NXT tag team titles, which they will get a shot at Deadline, which makes this very interesting, because this ties into a couple of other things, which is Axiom is a part of the Iron Man Survivors match. And Nathan Frazier. Now Axiom gets a last chance match against Lexus King, Eddie Thorpe, and Cedric Alexander. If he is a win, both of them will be in this Iron Survivors match, as well as putting their tag team titles on the line. Ooh. Now, man, all of this is floating. Help me paint the picture. Help me put the timeline together. How is this going to
I think, wow, that might speak to what you were just talking about at the end of the show, that the women's Iron Survivor would main event, but also the fact that maybe I can see a space where that tag team match opens the show and they drop the belts, and the men's Iron Survivor is like in the middle of the card.
Yeah.
And you just rip the Band-Aid off. They fighting in the match because they lost their belts.
Yeah. I could definitely see that.
I see any surprise tag teams being like, I know we have the guys like Hank and Tank and D'Angelo Family, OTM. I don't know who else might be. And probably forget those brothers' names. They're a newer tag team.
Yeah. I know you're talking about the way they threw that dude on that card. Mm-hmm. I hope they put that on YouTube. I don't know. All of them right now are kind of at the same level, as far as there's none of them that I see that are ahead as to like deserving of a tag team title shot. And I don't mean that in a bad way. I mean, like, I think all of them same level of opportunity to etch themselves.
Gallus in there though, right?
Gallus is in there. Gallus is in there.
So it's like the other 4 tag teams. I don't think Malik and Blade are there. One of them is hurt. I know the Quarter Catch crew, Tavion Heights and Miles Bourne are a part of that. So it's like everybody's unproven. It's like who should I believe to be in there? It's just why you have Gallus, who's multiple tag champs in there. Same with the Iron Survivor. It's like I don't expect Ethan Page to win, but you got to have legitimacy with having them in there.
You do, and it's very interesting. It's very interesting, but I think deadline is, no pun intended, but I think the deadline for Fraxium is at this PLE. Because
we'll give them a slow clap. Hey.
Yeah. I said
they overperformed.
I said that earlier in the watch along. I was like, yo, for two singles competitors that were put together kind of like a Sheamus and Cesaro type of tag team, they've done everything they need to do as a tag team. They've done it. They've two-time NXT tag champs. Y'all have held the division down, especially when y'all have these matches. Like, it is time for like all that big ass group of tag teams that we just saw. It is time to write the next chapter of the tag team division. And it needs to be one of those tag teams to take it and then let them set that bar for that division, because that's what's going to really help them along with what's going on with the women. Because, if I'm being honest right now, singles competition with men is okay. It's okay. Tag team is where you got your chance of really being able to go like, hey, we're going to really develop this tag team into something. So we're going to see with that. Then what else did we have come up after that? We had your client. We'll jump into it. We had your client. Lola Vice wasn't scheduled just yet. It was made official that the tonight to take on Ren Sinclair. Now, this match, I like both of these people. Ren Sinclair a little bit more than Lola, because Lola has her place set. It was funny because it was the two polar opposites. Ren Sinclair reminds me of like milk before you put the packaging on it. You know what I'm saying? It's just a regular bottle of milk before you put the packaging on it for you to look at it and then you want to buy the milk. We know the milk is good for the company, but it's just a plain bottle right now. If you get what I'm saying. Like, that's Ren Sinclair, if you think about it. That's Ren Sinclair in a nutshell right now. All the technical skills are there. She knows what to do in the ring. It's just
that's all right. So sometimes you times New Roman, but you're reliable. You're reliable.
Yeah. You like the default thought. Like, hey, as much as, hey, I would like to write it in this, I know I have other options. And I'm going to go use the Lola Vice font because it looks better as a header. And that's what we saw tonight. Lola Vice, I ain't gonna lie, got put through the ringer. Her head bouncing off of that steel step. Like, Ren Sinclair is consistently showing why she needs to be taken serious, which is why it's even more important for her to start being able to pick up the personality as well as victories.
And I think the quarter catch crew is kind of helping that because she's the one kind of, I don't want to compare apples to oranges, but like kind of doing like the Thea Hell thing, like being the hype woman to get the other three men like on their best A game. So, I mean, I think that can work, especially now that Chase U is no more. And then you see her like, I mean, I don't think anybody would say that she's not one of the better technical wrestlers on the women's roster right now. So, yeah, like you said, that personality, getting more opportunities, possibly challenging in that women's North American title picture will help kind of showcase who Ren Sinclair is.
Yeah, I'd like to see it. But as much as Ren Sinclair tried, it took one spinning back fist.
Where's Sindel at? Because I didn't.
I ain't gonna lie, I heard this.
I didn't see the back fist. I saw the segment later on in the show where Ren was like, well, Lola hits hard, and she was moving her jaw. That's what prompted me to get this T-shirt and jump on the stream. I was like, oh, damn, somebody got knocked out.
I ain't gonna lie. I heard that one. I was like, oh, she done. That was it. I heard that one connect. And I was like, oh, no, that's it. It was out of nowhere. I was like, no, she's not getting up from that one. Now, throughout the match, I was thinking we was going to get the Jada Parker interference. And we didn't. It was a solid victory, a solid pickup, no interference or anything. And Lola Vice looked into the camera and challenged Jada Parker to see her in the underground. And first off, I had to say when I saw that, Lola's eyes are scary as fuck. Her mad, I would not want to be in the room by myself where there's sharp objects and her in the same room. Because the look in her eye, I was like, nah, Jada, I don't know about this one.
Is Dylan here? Dylan was so nice to give me the Golden Girls, Jada Parker clips. Dylan, if you're watching this, can you give me the same type of montage but Lola Vice with Baila Most by Enrique Iglesias behind it?
Listen, you the reason why it's costing us money here. This is why our checks are getting here slow because of your ass. That's gonna be 3 videos you gonna have that keep getting us not being able to monetize this shit. This is your fault. First, it's your intro that you got that NXT intro. That be the first.
Which NXT boy?
Oh, the cartoon.
The What's Next? Yeah. That's Jacob's fault. That was Jacob's request to make that video.
Well, of course, he don't understand YouTube fucking etiquette and policies, so no wonder he the one asked that. Then the Golden Girls one got hit yesterday, and I was like, I was tight with that one because I was like, we got to find a way to get around that one. I was like, intro we can fix. That Golden Girls one, we got to keep that. We got to figure out how to not get caught with that one. Maybe 10 seconds or something, but that one is too good. That's too good of a video to not have.
Okay, but we go. I wasn't aware of these dings, so like I'll just keep that tucked, Dylan. If you send that to me, that'll just be for my leisure. I'll put it on my socials or whatever. But like,
at least no more than 10 seconds. No more than 10 seconds. At least let us test that first. So we know that's the sweet spot. We can work from there. But let's talk about it though. Lola Vice, Jada Parker, underground match. And I asked you on the show. Now I'm gonna ask you on the post show. Is this a wash, or is there some reality where Jada gives Lola that work?
0. And if there's a snowball's chance in hell that Jada Parker wins this, then Hickenbottom must hate Lola. I'm just gonna call it what it is, because you telling me to fall from grace from that promo versus Roxanne to lose that. What was the other big loss? There's like, I guess you consider the first Jada Parker won a big loss, but there's been some.
No. She only had one big loss, and that was between Roxanne. Because the one between Jada, we know what it's building. So
she lost to a returning Nikita Lyons because of Jada. She been taking some L's, man.
But that's the rivalry. But that's rivalry, though. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, even though it's L's, it didn't lower her stock because we knew what it was building to, which is this stuff. It's different when it's like you're like Ren Sinclair. Like when you taking Ren Sinclair L's, it's like, all right,
that's how I felt about the Nikita one. But I get why Nikita needs that win. That was a high profile win for Nikita to me.
It was. It was.
Like, yo, what are we doing, Sean?
It didn't hurt Lola, but it helped Nikita. Speaking of which, before we get into there, I just want to throw this little tidbit in because we ain't got to talk about it too much. But we also saw a clip where Ashante went skiing in Aspen again. If you get what I'm saying.
I thought it was legitimate. Okay, I caught you.
He went skiing again. This time he was on a Nikita Lyons slope, and then he got hit by a snowball from Carmen Petrovich Mountain. And so, we just gonna figure out what happens with Ashante still in Aspen. But now we're gonna get back to the real question.
I think they did announce Carmen versus Nikita next week too.
Yeah,
so we'll see.
We'll see.
But this is how I predict the underground match going. I think Jada will have her moments, and I think she will attempt to use a weapon. I think that brick will show up again, and we're gonna go full Cobra Kai. We spinning back fist through the brick, and we breaking the brick.
I see that. No, if they do that, we own something. But I will say, if Jada walking there with black Air Force Ones, just gonna change that whole match. I'll let you know. The whole match gonna change then. I don't know who the fuck gonna win. Because listen, I'm not saying black Air Forces give you superpowers. But in times of peril, and extreme conditions.
I'm pretty sure Sean is privy to these references as well, so that could definitely sway the scales a little bit.
But so if we so I think as I'm starting to grow a little bit more. I can't speak for the rest of the audience, but I'm growing a little bit more of it being a wash for Jada. And if that is being the case, I now agree with it being on a regular NXT show. But then let's say we're doing the three. We're doing the best out of three with this rivalry. Where and how does it end?
Since the women kind of have the lane now to run with it, I think they can get a little bit creative with the matches. So we had essentially a street fight, Philly street fight, Jada's thing. Underground is Lola's thing. I think from here, if you really want to go there, you can do an Iron Woman match. You set a timer and you have an Iron Woman match, or you can even, if this is real beef, like we still here in January around Royal Rumble time, it's real beef. I would like to see something cinematic.
Yeah.
Like kind of like that last Ciampa and Gargano, but better. Something cinematic where like they meet at a location, you got the nice camera angles, and it's like, hey, we're gonna just fight until one person leaves this room, type of thing.
Yeah. I was more privy to last woman standing match for them.
The thing with last man standing, there's always something like there's always some gimmick to get somebody to like not stand up. It's never like nobody get knocked out no more. It's like, oh yeah, I'm gonna handcuff you here, or I'm gonna bury you under this, and it's like.
I mean, I'll say though, NXT has done a great job of not going with that formula. Okay. I will say that.
We see that on the main roster a lot. Like, I'm gonna bury you under the announce table.
Yeah, but like I think NXT has had a way better telling of last women standing matches. Because even like with you just brought up with Gargano and Ciampa, like outside on the stage, and he just dropped his feet right at 9, and that's how he won. I was like, that's how you do that. That's how you end there. You never. I was like, yo, is this it? All he had to do was drop his feet down and he won. I was like, that is, and him holding Goldie like that, I was like, send him up.
Exactly.
But I think an Iron Woman match would be good. I know they're doing Iron Survivor and stuff like that, but I think we haven't had a women's Iron Women's match, in a while. And I think that would be great for. I guess the next one would be after that. What, New Year's Evolution or whatever they call it, New Year's Evil or whatever.
Yeah, like New Year's Evil.
Yeah, I don't like.
That'd be dope. That'd be dope. Just because like you can really take this era and have them use Bayley and Sasha as influence. See if like, hey, let's do this. However many years it's been removed from that, let's replicate.
Yeah, and it's because I'm not comparing. Okay, so I don't want nobody trying this or anything like that, but I see them as NXT's Sasha and Bayley of that group. Like I see them like with that type of potential. Like they would be able to carry their brands with wherever they go. Like they like as far as those PC women are concerned, that's who I see in the two of them.
Exactly, because it's like the in-ring work is going to continue to ascend, and it's like, but the character is on lock.
Yeah,
like both characters can go to main roster right now and still rock how they are. But then right now they're in NXT, so the in-ring work by the time they go, it's gonna keep continuing to be better.
And it just keeps getting better. Like these two women are consistently happening with that. That's why it's like it's
you suck, Cedric.
For real?
Yes, you suck.
Okay.
Cedric, you suck.
Yeah, I heard you.
3.
Yep. That was That's on there. That's what I'm dealing with.
I'm not saying I'm gonna clip that. I'm not saying I'm not, but I'm not saying tonight because that was perfect.
Dog.
Why are you being terrorized in your home?
Kids. Yep. Kids.
Jeez. I'm so sorry, sir. I'm so sorry, sir. But yes, okay, all right.
That was my as much as we see the little professor on here, that was my version. That's what I gotta deal with in these streets. But okay.
Baby professor, baby mayor, huh? He's like, he ain't even getting a name.
Nope.
He ain't getting nothing. He ain't getting no title, nothing. Him, my dependent.
There you go.
My dependent. That's what that was. But yeah, no, I look forward to them, and I just hope that with the way that they're moving, I don't want it to seem like me bringing them down when it comes to this, but I would love to see them tear up the women's North American title and then work it back to the NXT women's title. Because I think they can, like, I really believe like they could have a great Austin Rock run together.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I agree with that too.
I really could see them like tearing a lot of stuff up with one another, and people really like outside of these independent ones that, you know, like of course like your Julias, your Zarias and stuff like that. But if we being honest, and I'll ask it as a question too, as the comment I'm saying, those group of women we know aren't staying at NXT that long. Like we already know
they probably gone by stand and deliver.
Yeah. And so now you're back to your regular class. And I think by that time, it shows you who's sitting at the top, which is why Sol Ruka is in that Iron Survivors match. Because it's going to show you the ones who are really standing out, who are really coming up. And a lot of them have stepped it up and get a chance to do so with us still kind of being focused on what we call the Avengers of NXT right now.
Right.
So it's looking good. But I look forward to see who's going to come out on top of that rivalry. Well, we know who's going to really win, which is you. You are the action.
Yeah. Both sides, we win either way.
Yeah. So the NXT North American title was put on the line. That was the first title defense. Tony D'Angelo taking on Shawn Spears. And I gotta say, solid match. This was not a disappointing match of what it needed to be. Like Shawn Spears knew exactly what he needed to do for this match to be successful. You already know that they came kind of with the leg injury thing already from the previous week. They stayed on that, capitalized on it, but still, all in all, it did make Tony D'Angelo look a little bit better as the North American champion. And then we got to see a new faction form with Jensen, that driver guy, and Spears now. So we can see there's another faction that's going to be grouping and forming as they were standing tall over Tony D'Angelo, because the rest of the family was fighting around NXT with the rest of these tag teams.
And I know they said that guy's name. I forget that, like last week on Fightful or somewhere like that, they said he made his debut, the driver. I don't know what his NXT name is, but he's, I guess, was popular on the indie circuit.
I guess so. Yeah. He has seemed to get kind of a little pop when it was said. I can't pronounce his name right. I hope if Bose is in here, Bose will be able to let us know who the guy's name is. But Tony D'Angelo remained the NXT North American champion. I think something I had said during the show is I have to get used to a spine buster being a finisher.
Nico Vance, I guess is the name he's going by.
It was, yep. That's exactly what it was. Nico Vance, yes.
Spine buster being a finisher, and it's not like Arn Anderson or Bobby Roode.
It was sort of there. I will say tonight, I was like, I see why you're making this your finisher.
Now, is it like the Bobby Lashley joint where it's like more like a choke slam?
No, this was definitely more Arn Anderson. I
Okay.
got Arn Anderson vibe. Not as well. Not gonna say that. Not as well. But this one made me understand. I see why you finished with this now. Because he definitely like Sean Spears sold that very well. And so it makes it's a slow process, I think, but it's doing what it's supposed to. It's carving out both of these divisions and trying to make your champion the best you can for this title reign.
Yeah.
But I don't think, in my opinion, it did anything for the North American Championship. It just it kept it like this. I need you to invest in a lock on your door. I need you to get you a lock on your door when these things are happening. Because clearly he does not care that you are working.
He does not care at all.
Not
one bit. I lost my train of thought.
Your thoughts though on Tony D'Angelo picking up a victory with Sean Spears, solid match.
I see that Spears faction kind of stood tall, and I think this is good that they're and like this is pretty much his muscle in the faction, this Nico Vance guy. And if I'm being honest, Sean Spears is probably just the brains behind the operation. This is going to hopefully further whatever we left off with Brooks Jensen.
Yeah,
I think that's still the end game here is to make him a viable single star.
Yeah,
so I look at. I guess the D'Angelo family is supposed to be a babyface faction. Like I guess.
Yes.
I got to feel like Brooks Jensen is the one out of that group to really make a play for the North American title, and hopefully Spears gets some more matches under his belt to where he can get into this Trick Williams picture and help legitimize his title reign.
Yeah. I think we'll get some of that after deadline.
Knock it off. Knock it off. Go sit down.
You can feel the energy shit. Never mind. I thought it worked. Oh man. I get it. I get it. Then we get to so we get to our next qualifier match. This is for the Women's Iron Survivor, Julia versus Kaylani Jordan. Man, this was definitely, as Boza put and a few others put, this was definitely a main event caliber match. Like the two of these women went at it, but Julia stood tall and is now going into the Women's Iron Survivors match. Now, I want to ask you something that was posed in the comments by Boza. With all of these new international stars like Julia, Stephanie Vacour, and Zarya in the match, it was stated that it may feel a little bit handicapped now for Sol Ruka in this match. And then especially with the last spot left, and people are believing that possibly Jordan Grace may take that spot. How do you feel about the current selection for the Women's Iron Survivors match?
I view that the exact opposite, if I'm being honest. I think it being booked so, if you want to look at it like it's top heavy, like all the new shiny toys, I think they cancel each other out. Because I don't believe that either one of them has stood out like, hey, I'm next to challenge Roxanne, or I'm next up to be champion, because they're all still here. I mean, like, they're all really good, but they're all still here as far as neck and neck with each other. Like, who's going to ascend? I think Vaquera's probably had the best performances either in tag team action or singles. Like, she's had the more jaw-dropping moments since being in NXT. But like, I don't know if NXT leadership's ready to pull the trigger on either one of them over the others first. Like, I literally think they're going to be fighting it out amongst the three to see who grabs that crown. And I think this is the perfect time for like a breather away from that. So like, if it's a Sol Ruka or if it's Bubble Jacket, whoever else getting that match, was probably that's who I would pick to win versus those three. Because I look at it like how Trick won last year. You telling me Soul can't pull like a 60-second miracle with the Soul Snatcher?
That's what I was saying. That's what I was saying when the question was asked. I'm like, yo, y'all don't realize like what this match is entailing. Like, Soul Ruka is a soul snatch away from a pin.
Exactly.
Like
it's literally a buzzer beater moment, just like last year, except it'll look way cleaner with a Soul Snatcher.
Yep. Because Zarya just got to F5 somebody and then not get the pinning opportunity, and here comes Soul Ruka. Like this makes everybody even leveled because no one really has an advantage. Like, as much as you are in speed, as much as you are in like aerial flight, you can meet somebody that can match your strength or have full versatility, like you said. Like, and people that sneaky like Bubble Jacket.
Yeah.
So,
and I think that tells another story. If Cora Jade won, and it's like, I'm here to challenge your title, but I thought we were just being friends again. There's so much time that you can do with Vaquer, Zarya, or Julia that you don't have to push the button right now.
Mm-hmm.
And plus, we know they still got beef with the other tag teams. Like,
yeah,
that's still there. Like, who's to say that now that Jade Cargill is hurt, you don't want to make Julia and Stephanie your tag team champions?
I was just talking about that. I was like, yo, that, and because them two taking on Lash and Jakara, oh, I know that would slap. That would continue to be nothing but fire. Them versus Unholy Union, and then you get them pushed into the main title picture. I mean, not the main title picture, but the main show picture to see how they interact over there, see how people
now
take
you're
them.
Showcasing them on the main roster when that's where they're going to be mid next year anyway. Now you're getting them used to that audience.
I think that's a good way for them to do that, because I even see Zarya going down, and I don't even want to call it going down, but shifting towards the NXT Women's North American title, especially after like the introduction she had with Fatal Influence. Mm-hmm. Like, I can see her dominating in a very like Obafemi type of way before going up to the NXT Women's Championship. So I think you're right.
I don't think like the person that takes the title off Roxanne is not going to be. To me, it's not going to be like somebody that's been a world traveled star come in. It's going to be somebody that's like Roxanne. It's going to be like the underdog that you did not expect.
It's going to be Cora. If it's not Kaylani, it's going to be Cora.
And that's why I keep thinking Kalani too. It's like, oh, it's the person you did not expect. Like, nobody expected Kalani to win that ladder match for the North American Women's title. But
also, it's the perfect dynamic between heel and face too. Kalani taking on Roxanne, like that's gonna be a lot. That's gonna be an epic type of match. But to bring it all full circle for Roxanne going up against Cora, and Cora finally getting like her shot as champion, there's so much history right there for that to go on. I know Boza posed two things. He was like, I was going to say the same thing. Julia and Stephanie need to be the tag teams because WWE is hushed on how long Jade will be down. Jade's supposed to be down for 9 months, apparently. I heard anywhere between 3 and a year. Yeah, it's supposed to be 9 until they figure out after her surgery. But right now they got it for 9 months. What about Ren Sinclair? Could she pull an upset win next week?
Anything's possible.
It's possible. But when we're looking at the three, we're looking at the three as in a Kaylani,
Jover.
But,
Bert.
Hold up.
We're gonna go to a quick commercial break real quick.
Hey yo, you. Yeah, you that's watching this. You sitting on the couch staring at the screen not knowing what you want to do, like this is an online college. Are you tired of wearing shirts that make you look like an extra stuck in catering? Do you want to step your wrestling swag game up to the next level? Then Women's Wrestling Talk has got you covered. Like, literally. Are you for life in pink or black and white? Or maybe you're the EST and people need to respect you accordingly. Want to put some pride in your stride and show off the muscle in your hustle? Then make sure you check out the WWT store. Not now, but right now. Alright? What you waiting for? Head to www.talkpodstore.com and don't make me fight you. Shit.
That's how you muted. You muted right now. That's how Mayor feeling right now. Don't make me fight you.
We're clear. That won't happen again. But we're gonna finish the post show.
Yeah, we close to wrapping it up.
Oh my God.
But yeah, we shall see, because as we know, we have a 2 last chance matches, fatal 4 ways between the men and the women, those that were unsuccessful in their matches. So we're gonna see exactly what happens. But
same thing with Soul. Iron Survivor favors like that quick aerial assault, like Kalani Jordan. It's like, hey, I'm just gonna come steal this pin. Like, it just makes sense.
It makes sense, and especially with Jada being out the picture when Lola come. So I just hope
let me let y'all know right now. That's a triple threat match next week. You just cancel Jada out right now.
Yeah, that's a triple threat. Yeah, if we just being honest, somebody getting smacked with a brick, and it's most likely
somebody getting a kick to the mouth, and I don't know. Jada might not make it to the ring that night. It's gonna be that.
Might not. It might just be a triple threat match. Yeah, you're right. It might be. So we go see. But before we get into the main event, we had some in-between segments. Of course, it was announced that Eric Bischoff will be attending next week's NXT showing on CW, as well as X-Pac. And then we also got a snippet of Chase U closing its doors, but walking away, and then somebody called out Andre's name and it just went out. I don't know what that meant. I don't know what they're trying to say when it comes to that, but all I know is this: Chase U needs to be done, okay? Because I didn't make this for these motherfuckers to just be resurrected, okay? All right, this is the lovely in memory of Chase U, okay? They didn't even deserve this, but I made this for them, all right?
I saw on Twitter that Andre Chase like put his sweatshirt in a briefcase.
Yeah. Yes.
And then didn't Ridge come out to the Chase U entrance? And I don't even know if that did anything to help his cause as a heel. Like, I don't think anybody cared, but
the boos were there. I will say the boos was he was looking red hot right there. Then he talks, and it's like,
nobody wants to hear this, because if it happens, I'll even feel bad for putting this in the universe. But I can see a scenario where, like, I mean, you got all these older stars coming to NXT, Bischoff, X-Pac. What if, like, Ted DiBiase just bought Chase U or something like that? I don't know. What if he put the money up in storyline, bought Chase U, and reopened the campus? I can see something like that happening.
I can see it. And to be honest with you, I feel like Trick kind of gave that away too, because Trick was saying that I think the way he said it was like it might be closed. I was like, it might be closed. Like, no, it's supposed to be closed. Like, wait a minute. Are y'all finna really? Oh, I was like, man, all right.
It'll be closed for like 2-3 weeks.
Yeah, and just back. I'm like, okay, whatever. But we're gonna see. But more backstage that interacted. Of course, still tag team champions, tag teams fighting everywhere. As soon as it was announced about the last chance matches, this back and forth Eddie Thorpe has had with our manager Ava kind of took a very sharp turn as Eddie Thorpe was trying to talk to her, and he decided that he was going to grab the Great One's daughter's wrist abruptly. Like, you don't know who this woman's bloodline is. Like, you can't get touched in these streets.
Interesting. I got to go back and rewatch this, because, I mean, that... Correct me if I'm wrong, Eddie Thorpe ain't really been featured on TV like that. I mean, last time I saw, he was a DJ.
Yeah, and now he is wrestling. He was in a qualifier match, so he is going to be also in that last chance qualifier match along with Lexis King and Cedric Alexander as well.
I really do.
And Axiom, but Axiom's in there too. So yeah, we shall see.
Yeah, Mr. Dakota Kai tripping. He better stick to them turntables.
Yes, and because it seems to be that his bad luck is consistently running because he actually wound up being the catalyst to having her injured. As the turmoil from the tag teams was going on, a door slammed into Ava's face, knocking her down and injuring her so much to the point where Shawn Michaels grabbed that man by the shirt, pushed him up against the gate. It was like, what the fuck you think is your problem? The hell wrong with you? Get your ass out of here. Get out of here. Get out of here, Eddie. Get your ass out of here. Ain't nobody come to see you, Otis. Get your ass up out of here. I was like,
the last time we saw Shawn have an issue with a superstar, that was Grayson Waller. And I really thought Shawn was close to putting on the gear again, but then we got Gargano at Stand and Deliver in Los Angeles. So, like I said, this is new to me. Like they had Eddie Thorpe in the backstages showing off his turntables and his wax and DJing. I think he was DJing at the top of that stage. I ain't seen Eddie Thorpe get into it with authority figures, so I got to go back and watch this. But I'm interested in what it will mean for like one of these shows in the next month or so, because I don't think it'll lead to Deadline PLE. Not yet.
No, not at all. I really don't know how to read that whole Eddie Thorpe and Ava thing. Like,
is it just like he wants opportunities and he feels like he's not getting them?
Yeah, because that's what's one thing that she had stated to him was like, look, I've done all that I can. Like, I've given you every opportunity to be able to do something. And that's when he kind of like went and forcibly grabbed her hand and she was like, yo, don't touch me. And then that's
DJ is supposed to be happy. What are you doing? Like,
yeah, so that's why I'm just like,
so somebody's gonna come down to NXT to face him, and if it's, the bloodline is too busy in the interim right now, but I can see a scenario where,
you just skipped it over. This is the preview of Hikuleo.
That's a good one because I was going to say Jey Uso comes down, but Jey Uso on the other side. So we don't know what the final boss doing yet, but if it is Hikuleo, then that makes sense.
Yeah, I can see him taking on. That could be Hikuleo's first match against Eddie Thorpe. Because I know we won't get anything next week because he's in that last chance match, but I could see him losing, being backstage and still trying to talk shit, and then it'd be like, okay, you want to do that? You're gonna face somebody next week, and what? And then Hikuleo comes out.
He been quietly signed for like more than 6 months. I feel like.
Yeah, that's why I feel like this would be the perfect one. Like, yo, you mess with family, because again, and then he ain't associated with nobody just yet.
Yeah, he just needs to be put into the fold.
Yeah, that's it.
I like that.
Yeah, so I think that's it. That sits pretty well. It's a deal. Wonder how Kalani's forehead is doing.
Better than Ren Sinclair's jaw, I tell you that. A lot better.
Yeah. Because
don't ever come at me with no Oscar back fisting.
Oh, here we go. See, here we go.
Ever.
Here we go. We
breaking bricks out here. Book it.
Here we go with this, man. We're gonna lead into the main event. Because it seems like tensions are now getting high in the chat room and over there. Fallon Henley had someone answer her open challenge last week, which was Tatum Paxley. Tatum Paxley took on the Women's North American Champion in a title match in the main event tonight. It was a very solid showing. But in the end, of course, Fatal Influence showing why they are holding on tight to Fallon Henley being the champion. And she puts Tatum down Tatum Paxley down with a famouser to remain the champion. And then we seen a returning Gigi Dolan coming to assist while Tatum Paxley was getting jumped by Fatal Influence. Gigi Dolan returns to help and assist. In the mayor's terms, dressed like Lita and Jeff Hardy had a kid. And it was Gigi Dolan. So one thing I'm going to say, thoughts on Gigi's return, but one thing I wanted to talk about was the layers of this match tonight. When I say WWE is getting it right, because I know, Mayor, for yourself, you're a little bit concerned about having too many titles.
Sure.
And
yeah. But I mean, if we foreshadow what women's wrestling is going to look like in the next 5 to 10 years, I guess it makes sense because you're going to be funneling in so much new women's wrestling talent.
Yep.
Like right now, I don't like it, but it will make sense in the future.
And I think tonight showed that direction of that in which it's heading, because here's the layers in which I say this. One, you had the Women's North American Championship headline the show. And as we've seen, that's what one of the biggest things need to consistently happen on all shows. Your mid-card championship should be the title that's defended on the flagship shows, leaving your championship matches on PLEs. And then this gives your champion more time to promote, gives them more time to set up better rivalries rather than having to fully carry a division now. And we just saw that with this match. This match was to show them the prime example as to why these titles can be relevant and that they can deliver as workhorse championships, because this was a fantastic match. You said it before about Tatum Paxley in the ring, and a lot of people undermine her performance in the ring. And nobody's going to do that shit after this, because she was killing it in the ring with Fallon Henley, as well as Fallon Henley delivering. This is a perfect example of showing how these mid-card women's titles are going to be a positive impact for the women's division and give us more superstars in a faster pace than what we would have had if we just had the world championship and the tag titles.
Yeah. When you talk about like most improved superstars this year, like you got to mention Tatum Paxley in that conversation, because if you're looking towards next year, if we go all of 2025 and Tatum Paxley don't touch no gold, NXT or TNA, we're missing, because it's a crime that we don't get to see that woman wrestle weekly. Yeah. Like, she's amazing in the ring. And that's why she was one of the people to go over in the TNA partnership and challenge for some titles over there, because she's a great performer. I think a lot of people are still getting used to the character aside, being kind of schizophrenic, and maybe it peaked with the Lyra Valkyria stuff.
Yeah.
But I think the more we see Tatum Paxley wrestle, character aside, you'd be like, damn, she's really good. Like, we need to strap her up somehow or give her a very meaningful storyline to where she is prominently featured on NXT programming.
And it can get there. Like, I even think showing the segment that they showed before she was able to come out there, where she was playing with the dolls, and Jasmine Nix and JC Jane came to like bully her and mess with her. And one of the dolls she had, it was great foreshadowing, because one of the dolls she had was a Barbie doll with red hair, and she threw it and stuff like that. And I forget what Tatum said, but it led to us seeing a Converse come out and someone picked that doll up, which was, we knew now then it was like, oh, this is Gigi's. So seeing those representations in the dolls, just imagine her vignettes. Like, if it was her and Tatum, and she has a Barbie doll with the vest on with the cow print and stuff and a little mini championship, and you see them two in the dollhouse, and that's how she does her vignettes. It's like, yo, it's there to set up.
Yeah, she can go full Lily.
Yeah,
full crazy Lily if you really want to go there.
Yeah. You know what? Oh, because you said that. That'd be a fire endorsement from Alexa if she handed her Lily.
Mm-hmm.
Leave her with you.
Or even a segment where it's like, I'm getting rid of this. Like, like so she can go back to being a goddess, and then
like
and
I think
and Tatum picks it up,
and this would be better in your. I can see her giving it to her though. Like I could really see her like. I think she would like to play with you more. And Tatum just happy and hugs it, and it's like that'd be man. Whew. Wait.
I just read that because you looks like you want my attention, Sindel. 2026. You're out of your mind. You're out of your mind. You're out of your mind. I bet you these t-shirts didn't sold more than Julia's shirt. I bet you. And I'm not even gonna play you like that because Julia's shirt just came out like maybe a couple weeks ago.
And it's good. It's good. It's a dope shirt.
It's a good shirt. It's a dope shirt. I'll give you that. It's a dope shirt.
It's a dope shirt. But
the return of Gigi Dolan to continue feuding with JC Jane when we're so far removed from the super kick through the door, I think that's a miss. Because like Gigi, and granted it might be because of the North American women's title, that's cool. I would have rather seen Gigi insert herself into the deadline match somehow, some way.
Yeah.
Somehow, some way.
That would have been a great return if, as you said, if Jada got taken out before the match and they're like, okay, we're going to still make it a fatal 4-way and it's Gigi as the fourth person.
Right. But I mean, we'll see. They're going to need a third because it's going to eventually lead to like Fatal Influence versus Tatum and Gigi since Gigi got her back.
Wendy? Because didn't Wendy turn on Rosemary?
I don't know, but Wendy didn't choke Tatum out a few times, like on programming. Honestly, I think that would be a good place to insert Lyra if she's not doing anything.
True.
I know Lyra has the indie date, but we've already seen her go back and talk to Tatum on NXT programming. I think that's hey, that's the phone a friend just for the sake of
she's also going to be at that tournament for the Intercontinental Championship.
Okay.
Yeah, so I think she'll be wrapped up in that. But I can still see her doing double duty with it.
Yeah.
I can see her doing that. Dang, I'm trying to think of who. Yeah, I don't know. It's either that or dang, Wendy is a stretch though. But I just ain't seen Wendy on TV in a minute. But after they had that whole like casket match, like I can see them like burying the hatchet after that and then teaming up.
Yeah, they could. Wendy Chu, it keeps reminding me I need to watch that Lash with Legend episode with Wendy Chu.
Yeah. Yeah. Wendy Chu might have to get invited to the barbecue. I ain't gonna lie.
A little bit different without the character makeup.
Yeah, you'd be like, Tatum too. Like not barbecue wise, but Tatum, I was like, oh, did not know that's how you look. Same thing with what's up for Isla Dawn. I was like, wow, you take this makeup off. Y'all really made some characters. Because y'all don't look nothing like how y'all look on screen.
Yeah.
That shit is crazy. But overall, how do you feel about this week's NXT, especially just being the second to last episode before we hit deadline?
I like the tag team chaos because, like you said, we have to build new contenders for the belts. We have to have believable contenders for this Fraction breakup that's inevitably going to happen. We're going to Underground. That's called it, and I can't wait to see it because now you're putting, aside from what's happening in the women's title pictures, you have a main storyline to go off of, whether you push it to a PLE or just a weekly match. Jada versus Lola is a very prominent storyline that can carry a show. Love that Sean Spears has a faction. I think his whole thing when he first returned, and I think he actually had some stuff with Trick already, but it's like he was trying to mentor the younger talent and follow my lead. So give him more younger talent to like make him like that ominous character he needs to be. I like that as well. So with one more episode left, we'll find out who's going to be in Deadline. I think we'll still try to make whatever Eric Bischoff comes to do next week. I don't know if it'll add fuel to the fire to make us care about Trick versus Ridge, but I mean, we've kind of rinse and repeat with this title run. But so hopefully something happens where, I guess where you believe that Ridge can beat Trick. I think that's all we're looking for. And that's the hard thing about Trick being a 2-time champ already, is that we don't believe he's dropping it anytime soon.
Mm-hmm. Nah, y'all couldn't have done all of this for us to lose to Ridge. Nah. What I can see it doing is giving it enough to Ridge to take out Tony.
Okay.
Now I do see that. Like if he could take that momentum that he had and go, because again, like he said, he like one thing that I took away from Ridge tonight was the statement he made about, yes, I am that person that comes and destroys things, that stops and ruins things, that bursts people's bubble. Because that was one of the things Trick had mentioned. Like if Ridge wins, this whole Black and Silver era is dead if he wins. So I can see him taking that momentum and going to try to ruin the D'Angelo family, and that start being like Ridge's thing that they try to push. But he can't do Trick. Trick got to hold this title till Stand and Deliver.
Unfortunately,
yes,
that's what we're stuck with now.
Yep. But luckily for us, though, we have the women holding it down. It's like throughout all of this, because out of both Iron Survivor matches, no offense to the men, but this women one, if that ain't main event, we've done something wrong. I'm gonna have to start calling you Hickenbottom, HBK, if that is not the main event.
That's gonna have to be, because then you have your 3 shiniest toys fighting each other, which Zarya, Stephanie, and Julia. People have been wanting to see that.
Yeah.
So who's going to emerge? And like I said, I think Soul's the one to emerge just to keep us wanting that trio to fight even more.
I can see it. That now, because of the way you put it, it makes Soul Ruka the more dangerous one out of this whole thing.
Yeah, because they're kind of ignoring her as a threat when it's like she's been here.
Yeah. And then whoever this next one is out of the Last Chance really is going to change. Because if Kalani's in there, that's a huge monkey wrench in them 3. Even if you got Bubble Jacket in there, that's a huge monkey wrench.
Yeah,
in those 3 women.
People that been in NXT already.
Yeah. So I like it. I like it. I would love for us to get some more of this originals and indie feuds going too up at NXT. But I know we got 2025 coming up, so we good. But right now, that's gonna be it for our post show. Another phenomenal NXT leading up to deadline in 2 weeks from today. We already know the women's Iron Survivor match will be filled next week, as well as the men's. We already know as well the tag team titles will be on the line. We're going to figure out who will be going up against the tag team champions, Fraxium, in a battle royale next week. Eric Bischoff is showing up. X-Pac is showing up. Eddie Thorpe is about to get disrespected by HBK after putting his hands on Ava. And I'm throwing it out there. I know it's far-fetched. I know it probably won't happen, but if the final boss show up, I will lose my shit. I will lose my shit if the final boss showed up.
That would be something that they really trying to boost ratings. If he's sitting there like, you put your hands on the final boss's daughter, you know who I am? I'm your boss. I pay your checks.
Yo, and with a rock bottom, Dynamite, just stop. Just stop. Don't do shows.
They should do that one time just for the threat. Just because it's always going to be in the back of fans' minds, like, this could happen. We probably know it's not going to happen, but it's just a threat.
Yeah. Without announcing it either, like, that's why I was like, okay. And then that makes me more wanting to see CM Punk come down to take on Ethan Page. I would love for that to be after War Games, but we shall see. But this has been a great post show. We thank each and every single one of y'all for checking in. Sindil, Boza, Lamar Hill, Mr. Hill, as he goes by. Thank y'all so much for tuning in, Eric, Isaac as well, and everybody else that's watching. Before we get out of here, though, I always want to make sure y'all get a chance to follow and support our panelists on here. Mayor, please let them know where they can follow and support you.
You can find me on Twitter at says, on the gram at said is the answer. You can follow my website, www.myclientshavebettermerch.julia.com. Make sure you do that and get your Sea Blue turquoise shirts rocking. And we do have a lot of good merch on WWT, but you want to make sure you rock your turquoise because this has been the best selling shirt NXT all 2024. Not a measly 2 weeks, but that's neither here or there. Just that's the HTTPS semicolon / / that's the full acronym.
I don't even look. Just y'all know where to follow me at. I don't even know what to call that.
Sendale's Christmas season. I'll buy you one. Drop your address in one of our DMs or something. I'll get you one of these. You need to represent style.
Y'all can just find me at Will Pharaoh. I don't have nothing after that. You can just find me on my regular stuff. We'll be here tomorrow. For those at Thanksgiving, if y'all celebrate, we're going to have TCW also at 3 p.m. on Thursday. So, why not get some wrestling in with some turkey as well? Again, we're not sure about Friday. Friday is up in the air, but we will keep y'all informed if we will be live or if we won't be. But until then, we will see y'all tomorrow. I'm sure we're going to talk about some stuff from, of course, Monday Night Raw, stuff going on at NXT, and who has the best merch selling between certain people and their back fist. So until next time, thank y'all for checking out WWT, #1 in women's wrestling network on the planet.
Thanks for joining WWT. Don't forget to like us on all social media platforms at WW Talk Pod. Like and subscribe on all video and audio platforms like yesterday, my G. And check out our website at www.talkpod.com. Thanks for watching Women's Wrestling Talk, the #1 women's wrestling network on the planet.